Have you ever had the feeling that you are being watched inside your own home? Maybe you chalked it up to just normal sounds that the house is making that is creeping you out, or maybe you even thought that your house was haunted. In the case I'm about to share with you, the fear of being watched turned out to be a very real revelation that someone was actually living inside the walls of a family's home. This story has become an urban legend of sorts. However, its origin is very true. This is the story of Daniel Laplante. In 1986, a teenager named Tina Bowen went on a seemingly innocent date with a boy named Danny. The two went to the same school, and over Easter break, he had taken her out on a date. Their relationship would prove to be short-lived when Tina found out that Danny was facing rape charges, allegedly, and her father, Frank Bowen, put an end to things, or so he thought. Soon after, mysterious things started happening around the Bowen home. TV channels would change. Items inside the home would mysteriously move and be rearranged. Milk was mysteriously consumed. Bottles of alcohol were found empty. There were even disturbing messages found scrawled on the wall like, "Marry me, I'm in your room, come and find me." These were written in ketchup and mayonnaise. The father, Frank, initially thought his daughters were playing pranks on one another, until one night, December 8th, 1986. The girls returned home and found that someone had used their toilet. This caused their father, Frank, to search the house, and he ultimately found Danny Laplante hiding in a wardrobe. His face was painted, he was wearing a Native American-style jacket and a ninja mask, and wielding a hatchet. He calmly chased them into a bedroom before disappearing somewhere in the home. Tina managed to escape through a window, and she was able to have the neighbors contact the police. A search was conducted that night, but Danny was not found. This caused the family to flee to a nearby hotel. 2 days later, on December 10th, Frank Bowen returned to the residence to retrieve some of their belongings. Upon approaching his home, he noticed a man standing in the window of the second story. An officer was called to the scene, and inside the home, he found a knife sticking out of a family photo stuck into the wall, and "I'm still here, come find me," written with magic marker. The house was thoroughly searched, and he was found that day. Police found that he had been hiding in a triangular space in a corner bounded on two sides by the concrete foundation and an inner wall. He had been there for a number of weeks. He was ultimately arrested for these crimes and held at a juvenile detention center until October of 1987, when he was released on a $10,000 bond. 2 months later, his crime spree continued, ending with a truly upsetting incident in which he claimed the lives of 3 innocent victims. While out on bail awaiting trial, Laplante was living at home but still committing burglaries. He started with stealing 2 .22 caliber firearms on October 14th of 1987 from a neighbor. On November 16th, he would go on to burglarize the home of the Gustafson family, which was comprised of a pregnant nursery school teacher named Priscilla, her husband Andrew, and their 2 children, 5-year-old William and 7-year-old Abigail. He would return to their home in December of 1987, and this time he was armed with a .22 caliber firearm. While he was burglarizing the home, he was interrupted when Priscilla and their children came home unexpectedly. Laplante confronted Priscilla with the .22 and led her to her son's bedroom, putting young William in the closet. He then tied Priscilla to the bed and gagged her with a sock. He raped her, and then she was unalived with the .22 caliber weapon. She had suffered 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Laplante then took young William and drowned him in the bathroom. As he was leaving, sadly, Abigail returned home, and Laplante lured her into the bathroom where he also drowned young Abigail. Meanwhile, the father, Andrew, had not been able to reach his family all day. He came home to find his wife's body face down on the bed. He fled the house, called police, and told them he had not looked for his children for fear of what he might find. Police were able to quickly implicate Laplante for the crime when a shirt and gloves that he had worn while drowning the victims was found right behind the Gustafsons' house, and they were still wet. Police dogs, using the scent of the shirt, were able to track the trail through the woods into an area within 3 feet of Laplante's home. The next evening, he was interrogated by police, but they were unable to arrest him at that time due to a lack of evidence. When they returned the next day, they discovered Laplante had fled. A massive manhunt ensued. Danny Laplante was eventually tracked down on December 3rd, 1987. He was found hiding in a dumpster. He would go to trial in October of 1988 and was found guilty of the 3 murders. He was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences. In 2017, Laplante appealed for a reduced sentence, however. The judge upheld his original sentence, stating that Danny did not show any remorse for the crimes he committed. He will not be eligible for parole for another 45 years.